Black CEO goes undercover at her dealership. Client calls security, then regrets everything. Ma'am, step away from the vehicle. This area is restricted to serious buyers. Simone's heart pounded, not from fear, but disbelief. She wasn't just a buyer, she was the owner. The walls they were guarding, she paid for them. The floor beneath their feet, she built it. And yet, 3 security guards circled her like a threat, triggered by a glance from one entitled customer. No name tag, no suit, just brown skin and quiet confidence. That was enough to make her unwelcome. This is the day a CEO was treated like a suspect in her empire. Welcome, story lovers. Where are you watching from? Smash that like button and drop your city in the comments. Simone Carter wasn't just the face of Carter Automotive Group, she was its foundation. A self-made Black woman in her 40s, she'd built her empire from a single used lot to a chain of high-end dealerships across the state. But today, she wasn't arriving in a power suit or with cameras flashing. She was undercover in jeans, a hoodie, and a quiet demeanor. After whispers of customer mistreatment and racial profiling at her flagship location, she needed the raw truth, unfiltered. Employees didn't recognize her face. Most assumed the owner was a rich white man. Simone preferred it that way for now. She entered the luxury showroom posing as a curious shopper. It was supposed to be a simple audit, quiet, observational. But what happened next would rip the mask off everything she thought she knew about her own business. And as she stepped inside that glass palace of chrome and polish, all eyes turned, but not in the way she expected. The moment Simone walked in, the air shifted. Conversations paused. A white receptionist glanced up, blinked, and looked down again, like she didn't belong. No greeting, no smile, no offer of help. She wandered the floor, admiring a sleek electric SUV, but not a single associate approached. White couples who arrived after her were greeted with champagne and wide grins. She remained invisible. Minutes passed. She made her way toward the sales office, hoping for assistance. That's when it began. A middle-aged white customer, adjusting his Rolex, turned sharply as she walked by. His face stiffened. Is she lost? He asked the receptionist, loud enough to hear. Before Simone could process the insult, 2 security guards emerged from the back. 1 point. Ma'am, you need to leave the showroom. You're making a client uncomfortable. Her heart dropped. What? She asked calmly, masking the fire inside. This area is for serious buyers only. If you need assistance, there is a public lot down the street. Stunned, she stood frozen. No one intervened. No apology, just stares. She noticed the white client's smug grin as security closed in, but she didn't flinch. Instead, she pulled out her phone and began recording silently. The situation escalated as voices rose. Whispers echoed through the lobby. That's when the manager arrived, smiling politely, unaware of the storm brewing. What he said next would change everything. With the confidence of someone who believed they'd never be questioned, the manager approached. We've had issues with loiterers before, he said, his voice thinly veiled in condescension. I'd advise you to leave before we call the police. Simone slowly raised her phone. Good, she said quietly. Because I'd love for them to meet the CEO of this dealership. The manager blinked, confused. Then he laughed until she opened the dealership app, pressed the employee login, and signed in with her credentials. His face drained. Simone Carter, she said, voice steady, founder, owner, and apparently invisible. Gasps rippled through the room. One security guard stepped back. The receptionist looked ready to vanish. The customer, pale as his linen blazer. But Simone wasn't done. She turned her camera toward the manager. Tell me again, she said, why I don't belong here. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like, it helps. The video went viral within hours. News outlets picked it up. Hashtags trended. And the Carter brand, once respected, faced public scrutiny Simone never saw coming. But she didn't hide. She spoke out, fired those responsible, implemented mandatory anti-racism training across all locations, and for the first time, she stepped into the spotlight not as a silent boss, but a vocal leader for equity. That day changed more than just a store, it changed a culture. Simone's story exposed a reality that many try to ignore, even in success. Black excellence is still questioned and still challenged. But she didn't just prove she belonged, she reminded everyone that power doesn't always look like what you expect. How many more hidden injustices need to be caught on camera before we believe they're real? Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos. Take care.